minute understood this word for.
Hi, Joanna. Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Are you fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Mohammed says, will you close the camera?
Close it.
The video, yes. The audio, no. Keep on. That's it. You can still hear me, right? You can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So did you get a chance to have a look at the book that I sent you?
No, because I just saw it.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
I didn't open my network for a long time, and I just.
Don't worry. Got it here. Can you see the screen okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So this is Sabrina and the River Spirit. So it's fantasy.
Yeah.
Interested?
Yeah.
Yeah. So from that, from what you can see, what do you think this is about?
A mermaid.
Yeah, could be. Could be. So we're in some kind of landscape here, right?
Yeah.
Look at all familiar?
No.
No? Okay. So let's have a look. River, waterfall, working, boats, factories.
I can't understand what does it look familiar for.
Okay,
Yeah. I mean,
the words. The words. Um, anything that you recognize there? Does it look a totally different kingdom or landscape? Or are there a few things here that are familiar?
like in Koa. You mean like in Koa? So.
Um, yes, but in reality as well.
Like places.
Mm,
No, I don't know places.
okay, so let's have a look. This to me looks like a pretty ordinary working village, town, perhaps. Got bushes, we've got boats working on the river, we've got factories. Yeah, waterfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So something's a bit different there. Yes?
Yes.
Certainly busier, right? Compared to here. Well, we've just got a few houses
Yeah.
2 factories, few more houses here compared to this.
Yeah.
Yeah? The river is
Yeah.
certainly busier.
I think it will be like Goa, another world.
Well, let's have a look. Hello, I would like you to move, please. Thank you. So here we have, perhaps this is the central character of Sabrina.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Okay. She looks pretty ordinary. And
Yeah.
she's certainly found something in the water. Yeah?
Yeah.
So certainly not as long
Yeah.
as Cold.
As Goa.
Yeah, this is more of a short story. So here we have where they live. Anything you notice about it?
Like their clothes are strange.
The clothes are strange, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And the water, like, please just complete. I want to see all the picture.
there you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
So what is it about the water?
Like it's full of wood and rubbish.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not clean.
And
Also, yeah, they look like they are poor because they wash their clothes in the river.
yes, the clothes, yeah, in the
Yeah.
river. So do you think we're in the same time frame?
Please, like, explain more.
Okay. So time frame would be, are we in the same time as now? Is it contemporary to now?
Yeah, no, because their clothes are really strange.
They
not
are.
like,
They're just not modern, are they?
yeah, they are strange.
They are.
And I saw like bones, something like bones.
Yes. Look at this piece of machinery here. It's obviously a piece of engineering with a hook
Yeah,
on the
like
end.
they're going to caught fishes.
Well, quite. But compare it to this one. Going back, going back, going back. This doesn't look so strange, does it?
Rich.
Exactly. And it looks almost contemporary. Look at the boats.
Yeah, like
they're motorized. They have engines.
I think like Sabrina is the character that's still alive from, or she went to another time, like here, or another, like
it's in a
this.
different time frame. So what we're expecting is something that we would call time slip, as in slip through time.
Excuse me?
What we are expecting is what we would call time slip, as in slipping through time. Actually, my favorite book above all
Sabrina?
actually is a book called Labyrinth, by an author called Kate Moss, and it is a time slip novel. It is, well, if some way I can get it over to you.
Okay.
Very interesting book. So here we are, we've decided here, this looks very strange. This lady is getting running water from here, from this well. The
And they're
houses,
moving. They are moving with the donkey.
yes,
Or yeah,
yes, yes, as you say, it's a donkey and cart. Yep.
yeah,
So there's nothing motorized here. This piece of
yeah.
machinery is hand powered. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let's have a look. Over
Sorry?
to you. Over to you, absolutely.
Okay. The day began as usual. The little ones scampered about while Pa complained of the ashes in his back and the tingles in his toes. Sabrina heated bread and pottage over the fire in their old iron pot. The family didn't have the money for a new alchemical stove like other families in the village, but Sabrina didn't mind. She liked the smell of a real fire better. It smelled honest.
Yeah.
Before the family ate breakfast, they stood before the shrine. Three clay figures were nestled in the nook above the fireplace. Their paint was flaky and their limbs cracked, but since Pa had injured his back and lost his job on Trongarm's farm, there was no money for repair. Sabrina nudged the little ones to remind them to bow their heads as Pa cleared his throat. Thank
Okay.
you, Pa.
Okay. So
Yeah,
here we are. So just a reminder for you, sweetie.
yeah,
Anything unusual or anything you think, what in the world is that about? Ask
yeah.
me.
Scampered.
Scampered. Okay. The little one scampered around, so ran around.
Ran.
So these young children are running around the house.
Yeah.
So this is aches.
Uh,
He complained of
aches. Yeah,
aches in
aches.
his back. Yeah.
Yeah, aches.
So aches and pains.
Yeah. Thank you, Bao, for the grain and the beans. Thank you, Sana, for light to bless the leaves. Thank you, Dia, for water to bless the roots. Sabrina broke off breadcrumbs to give to each of the figurines, stout
Figurines.
figurines, stout Bao, tall Sana, and dainty Dia with her long flowing hair.
So who are these?
Sisters, or they are,
No. In this case, I'll be honest with you, Jemana, I've stepped up from Cole. Cole was great, but I think you are past Cole now. So this is now level up.
yeah,
So these three, Baal, Sana,
Sana,
and
Dia,
Dia.
Sabrina.
Sabrina is the girl of the house, the
Yeah,
daughter,
yeah,
and these three are clay figures. They are representations of Sabrina's gods. Mm. So in some cultures, they would have their shrine. So this is like a religious altar inside their houses. So they go to visit their gods inside their houses every day,
yeah,
sometimes twice a day. So Baal is the god of grain and eating and having enough to eat. Sana for light and the sun to make everything grow, and Dia for water. So everything
Yeah.
grows.
Yeah.
So these are Sabrina's ancient gods
Yeah. Yeah.
of these
Like
three.
fairies.
Yeah. Some cultures, Joanna, believe in a what we would call pantheon of gods. So going back into ancient Egypt, you had a god for everything, for
Yeah.
water, for farming, for scribes, for writing, for reading,
Yeah.
for knowledge. There was a god of that controlled that particular thing. This is the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So Sabrina broke off breadcrumbs to give each of the figurines. So she is making an offering to
Yeah.
these figurines. So figures of her gods.
Yeah.
So the offering is breadcrumbs. So stout Baal,
Yeah.
stout as in large, as in overweight. So god of eating. Tall Sana, because she reaches the sun, and
Yeah.
dainty deer with her long flowing hair. So when your hair is wet, it flows.
Yeah.
My hair is the longest now it's been for many years. Normally my hair is very short.
Yeah.
So I kind of like empathize with that. Okay, so we are only.
We're only a poor family, a lowly family. Pa went on. We try our best, but we are always cold and hungry, and our bellies always rumple. Please, please, bless us, spirits. Send us barrels of grain, baskets of fruit, and lots of fish. Recently, Pa's blessed,
Please.
please, please, had become more and more desperate, and Sabrina had become more and more certain that the spirits weren't listening.
Okay. So there's problems in this household. Yes?
Yeah, yeah,
There's no money in this house. We do our best. You said we're doing our best, but always
yeah,
we're cold and hungry.
yeah,
And our bellies always rumble. When
yeah,
it
they're
growls,
hungry.
it growls. Yeah.
Yeah,
Please bless the spirits. Send us barrels of grain to make bread, baskets of fruit, and lots of fish.
yeah,
Okay. So recently,
recently.
so of late, Pa, as in dad, please, his asking
Yeah, yeah,
have become more and more desperate. So this family are in a desperate situation. And Sabrina has become more and more certain that these spirits are just not listening, not hearing him.
yeah. After breakfast, Sabrina tied on her apron and filled her pockets with salt for a day's luck. Time for school, she said, leaving the little ones outside. Have a good day, said Pa, and don't run off with a passing merchant. I won't, Sabrina promised. Sabrina had never traveled further than the next village, but she knew that the merchants came from towns and cities far away. They brought tales of temples and domes, mighty machines, and magic shows. Sabrina would love to see all that they described, but she knew that it was impossible. Her family then depended on her.
So what kind of girl is Sabrina? What do we think of her
She's
so far?
like she's she obeys.
She does.
Yeah, what
And
her father say.
yes, and she's dependable. She would love
Yeah.
to see some of these things for herself.
Yes. Yeah, but
Um, but it was,
her
she says it's
family.
impossible.
Yeah, but she proper she promised her father
Yes,
not to.
her family depended
Yeah,
on her.
on her. Yeah.
So I think without her, this family are going to fall apart. We have no knowledge of, we've got Pa, but we have no knowledge of Ma.
Yeah.
So we haven't heard of the mother yet.
Yeah. The village school only cost a penny each for the morning and taught sums and letters. Alongside this, the children were taught about alchemy.
Mm.
Lessons involved mixing simple formulas and drawing diagrams of alchemical contraptions. It was only the basics, but it was a start. Sabrina hoped that her brothers and sisters would achieve great things one day. She have
Okay.
sisters and brothers.
Yes. So these are
Yeah,
obviously the little ones that were scampering
yeah,
around.
yeah.
So, alchemy. What in the world is alchemy?
Where alchemy?
Mm. So here it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So the children were
Like
taught about,
chemicals?
uh,
Chemicals?
um, kind of.
Yeah, yeah,
At some point in history, we're going back hundreds of years now,
yeah,
alchemy was a science. And alchemy, the ability in alchemy was to turn base metal into gold.
yeah. Like chemicals,
Mm,
or like to melt.
yes.
Science. Yeah,
Yes, it was seen as a science. We know that this is impossible. A base metal
yeah,
is a base
yeah,
metal.
yeah,
Iron is iron. Iron will never
yeah,
be gold.
yeah, yeah,
However, scientists in the past believed it was possible to turn a
yeah,
base metal like iron or
yeah.
bronze into gold.
Into. Yeah.
Mm. So they believed in
This.
transfiguration, being able to
Yeah,
transfigure one base metal for another.
yeah,
Mm. So the lessons that the children are being taught in school involves sums and letters, so maths
yeah,
and language. Alongside this,
yeah.
the children were taught about alchemy, how to,
Alchemy.
yeah, alchemy. So we can actually remember it as all chemical,
Yeah,
alchemy.
yeah.
Less
Impossible.
impossible, but it was a legitimate science
Yeah.
in the past. Also included magic,
Yes.
which was seen as a science as well until it was
Yeah.
banned.
Yes.
So involved mixing simple formulas and drawing diagrams of alchemical contraptions, machines.
Contraptions machine.
Yeah, it means machines. So you've probably seen the drawing that Leonardo da Vinci made, the first flying machine. Have you seen it?
No. No.
Okay, okay. My my students were very interested.
I heard of Da Vinci, but I don't know what is that.
Okay, so Leonardo da Vinci, known as Maestro, because he was the master of everything. There was
Yeah.
just nothing this guy wasn't good at. Drew this. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it. But what it is?
This is called the ornithopter, and Da Vinci drew this in the 15th century.
Yeah.
So he believed it was possible
To fly?
to fly, for a human to fly. You just needed the right contraption.
Yeah.
And he based his... Go on.
It is still like, it is still here, or?
Yes, there is one. It is in, I believe, the museum in Milan, in Italy, but it has been built. Now, Da Vinci only made drawings, sketches of it, but it has been built this century, and it did indeed fly.
Yeah, like it.
Interesting, huh? So here is
yeah.
his...
I thought they made like some of copies, and now they're flying.
Well, one has been made to test whether Da Vinci's theory was correct. It was indeed correct. And the scientist who oversaw the project to actually build this from Da Vinci's sketches did actually fly.
Oh, yeah.
With it. So he was strapped here with a harness, and he had to move the wings like a bird, but it did actually fly.
Yeah.
And he did land it safely. So here is what was actually built.
Oh, but it doesn't look like it. Yeah.
So this is the model. Where did that go? There you are.
But now
there you
go. See it like in streets or.
Oh no!
We can't.
No.
It's just a museum.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is model built from Leonardo's design for a flying machine. Yes. So he was artist, sculptor, scientist, you name it. You know, he could do it. He was an incredible brain, and he thought this up. So this would be known as a contraption.
Yeah.
So this was one of Da Vinci's contraptions.
Yes.
Okay, so let me go back in here. There you go. You should be able to see that again now, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so a contraption is very much like a machine.
Yeah.
In hundreds of years ago, they believed this science of alchemy was controlled by the movements of the planets around the sun.
Oh, yeah.
So in great houses, especially in Europe, they had contraptions, machines, where they would have the planets circling round the sun. You have to remember, this was a very new science. It had only been, say, 100 years ago, you know, before this time, that Nikolai Copernicus discovered that we circled the sun, not the sun revolving around us, which was the thought at the time. Before Nicholas Copernicus discovered this, they thought the Earth was the center of the universe and everything revolved around us. And he discovered 100 years before this time that no, that was not the case. Yeah?
Yes, but The Earth was spinning around the
Yes,
sun.
and it orbited the sun.
Yeah.
And he discovered that it
The
orbited the
time
sun
for how
every.
many years or
Well, it takes 1 year.
20 yeah, 1 year, yeah.
Well, the
365
Earth takes 24 hours or
to
23
spin
hours
itself,
56 minutes.
its own axis.
That's right. And then takes 365 days
Yeah,
to circle the sun.
yeah,
Um, but of course, prior to Nicholas Copernicus, this was this was a ridiculous idea
yeah,
until he proved mathematically that that had to be the case. Um, however, it wasn't a it wasn't a theory that was well received.
yeah.
People thought he was insane for this idea.
Insane.
Crazy. They
Oh,
thought
yeah,
he
yeah,
was crazy to
yeah, yeah.
suggest that
Like
we.
to say that the Earth took how that the Earth is spinning around the sun, not the sun. Yeah,
Yeah, they thought he was certifiable, for
yeah,
suggesting that, but then he proved it mathematically, and
yes,
it couldn't be ignored any longer. So they would have all of these machines and contraptions to make this happen. Today, contraption is used for a machine that's probably not going to work.
yeah,
So
yeah,
a contraption would be, we would still say it's a machine, but it's a machine that's not fit for purpose.
yeah,
Will it work? No, of course it won't. It's a contraption.
yes.
So
It
over
was
to
a
you.
long, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a long walk from their cottage high on the hillside to the schoolhouse in the valley below. As usual, they were the last to arrive, and Sabrina, who was already 14, hurried her siblings through the gate as the bell rang. Work hard and don't upset the teacher, she called before heading into the village to collect the day's laundry work. The village bustled. Farm hands jostled and gossiped as they headed to the fields. Appar- apparently, the river was low, but the farm hands said that there was no need to worry because Mr. Strong Arm had brought a new alchemical fertilizer, and it made the grain pop up like a rabbit from a hole.
Okay. So what's happening here?
Like, yeah, the people working in farm, they said that the strong man had bought a new alchemical machine,
Um,
fertilizer,
uh,
fertilizer,
Fertilizer is the
fertilizer.
chemical that you put into the ground to help plants grow.
Yeah,
Now, it is terrible for our planet. However, does it work? Yes, it does. You get much better crops. You
yeah,
get more crops.
yeah. It grow
Um,
more. It grow
that,
quickly.
that's right.
Yeah,
You know the pictures of the very red, shiny apples? The really
uh,
red and shiny apples. When anybody's advertising for apples, all of the apples seem to be really big and shiny and
because
red in
they
color.
uh, they use this machine or
They use
fertilizer.
fertilizer, this chemical.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
But it's not healthy. Like it's
It's
not good.
not healthy. It's not good for
Yeah,
us. It's
chemical.
not good for
It's
the planet.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
if it's doing that to the apples, what's it going to do to your stomach?
It
So,
hurts.
sure,
Crumple.
that's right. So I
Yeah,
always say I don't mind a few spots on my apples. I would just rather there were birds and bees around.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they still until now they use this fertilizer.
Yes,
Oh,
unfortunately, um,
yeah,
if you buy organic,
yeah,
organic means no fertilizer used. You don't
yeah,
get as
yeah,
much in crop, and maybe they don't look as pretty. Maybe your
yeah, yeah,
cucumbers are not going to be straight; they're going to be a bit bendy.
yeah. Strange, like the original.
But I don't mind that. I don't mind bendy cucumbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would rather just have natural food. Fertilizer
Y-
makes the food unnatural.
yes.
But these are farmers, and they are worried about the amount of crop,
Yes.
the amount that's growing. So it made grain pop up like a rabbit
Like
from
a
a
rabbit from
hole.
a hole.
Yep,
Yeah.
so that pops up
It's
quickly.
quickly as
Yes,
a rabbit
yes.
pops up.
Mm.
The farm hands might not have been worried about the low river, but Sabrina was. She could hardly make a living as a laundress without water. In the village square, the blacksmith the blacksmith's iron hissed as he plunged hot metal into a liquid that turned the outside bright gold. A cart bounced down the street, delivering wool to the dyers in the alley stood great vats of dye in every color the alchemists could dream up.
Yep. So
Con-
this is an industrial place. So the blacksmith
yeah,
iron hissed as he plunged hot metal into a liquid.
yeah,
So he's making swords, he's making horseshoes.
chemicals.
Yeah, now the hot liquid, as he plunged metal into a liquid that turned the outside bright
Bright
gold.
gold.
Yeah,
Like only the color, not to
only the
change.
color. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not alchemy. Um,
yeah, yeah,
so a cart bounced down the street. So telling you again, we're not in our own time frame. Delivering wool
yeah,
to the dyers. So people dyeing wool to make clothes,
yeah,
tapestries. Yeah, in the alley stood great vats of dye, great big bowls of colour.
yeah,
In every colour the alchemists could dream up. So you've got green, you've got red, you've got yellow, the most expensive of all being purple.
yeah,
Yeah? Which is why in the past, purple is seen as an imperial colour. Only the Roman emperor wore purple
yes,
because it's a royal colour. And this is
yes.
why. Because it takes so much effort to make things purple. Mm.
More and more people were moving to the village. Some came to work on the farms, which grew bigger each year, while others came to profit from passing merchant trade as ever more alchemical wares were transported up and down the land by boat. Sabr- Sabrina bowed her head to this squeeze, her gaze as
Disguise.
disguise, disguise, her gaze at the merchant's daughters, bustled past in their jeweled bright gowns, showing off the latest fashions. Sabrina wished that she could afford a colorful gown too, but all she had to wear was a beige smock. Every new alchemist invention seemed like magic. Sabrina just wished that she had a little more magic in her own life.
Okay,
She,
it's a bit sad now.
yeah, she wished she had magic.
Mm. Yeah, she wished she had a bit more magic in her life. Her life sounds pretty dull. She's
Poor.
Yeah, she's 14 years of age. She's looking
Yeah,
after her brothers and sisters. So 14, about the same age as you?
no, I'm 13. Yeah,
13, so about the same age, yeah?
yeah,
So could you imagine being stuck, running the house, looking after your younger brothers and sisters, um, taking them to
yeah.
school, picking them up from school,
It's
working,
really hard.
clothes, yeah. So she was the only one working and bringing
Yeah,
any money in, and she's doing this by washing clothes in the river.
yeah. It means that her mother had died.
I would think her mother's died. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yes. It's not
yeah,
telling us so far, but
yeah. But it's like
yes,
saying show don't tell.
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
So I would think, so what she means by she wished, Sabrina just wished she had a little more magic in her own life. Her life is dull.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah? She does the
Just a
same
little.
thing every day.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not much fun in her life, right?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
Little. She knocked on the door of the low, thatched building that belonged to the strong arms Mr. and Mrs. Strongarm, who ran the biggest farm in the village. "Oh, Sabrina, there you are," said Mrs. Strongarm in the doorway. Her necklace hung with expensive wards against hardship and hunger. "How is your pa? Is his leg still troubling troubling him?" "It's his back, really," said Sabrina, holding out her arms for Mrs. Strongman's basket of laundry. "It troubles him worse each winter." Even from the doorway, Sabrina could see that the strong armed shrine was 5 times as elaborate as the one that Sabrina's family had at home. There had to be at least 20 stat- statues of every
Statuettes.
color and shape. Excuse me?
Statuettes. This one.
Statues. Statues.
Yes. So statuettes, small statues. So whenever you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
et at the end, so minuet. So it's
yeah,
mini, it's small.
yeah,
So a statuette would be a small statue.
yeah. And she had in her home, or what does it mean? She has it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So Mrs. Strongarm, the farmer's wife, is saying, Sabrina, there you are. Okay, oh, you've only just arrived. Her necklace hung with expensive wards against hardship and hunger. So she is wearing on her necklace symbols against
yeah,
being, things going wrong, for luck. So, like coal and the disc, the
yeah,
brooch,
yeah.
she's got some of these around her
To have
neck
luck.
to ward off, to push away
Yeah,
hardship and hunger so it doesn't
yeah,
get her. So
yeah,
she's saying, how's your pa? How's your dad? Is his leg still troubling him? Has he still got problems with his leg?
yeah,
And Sabrina says, well, it's his back, really, holding out her arms for Mrs. Strongarm's basket of laundry. So this lady is not doing the laundry herself. She's not washing her own dirty clothes. She's getting Sabrina to do it.
yeah.
So it troubles him worse each winter. So every winter it gets worse. So even from the doorway, so she's being kept outside, Sabrina can see that the strong-arm shrine, this little altar inside the house, was 5 times as elaborate as the one in Sabrina's house. There had to be at least 20 statuettes, little figurines. So they're honoring at least 20 gods, where in Sabrina's house it's just 3. For the 3 things that they really need: grain, water, light. But these people can afford to be honoring more. So their needs are not their needs, their wants are more. So it would be like having a statuette of a god of a new car.
Yeah.
Don't really need it. The old one would do a job just as well.
Yeah.
But they have more wants and desires. Sabrina's family just have needs. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. So they've got statuettes of every color and shape. Some human, some animal, some dressed in jewels or fur or flames or fire.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, the poor man. He always worked so hard and he has had such bad luck. Still, good thing he has got you to help look after the family. Here you go, Mrs. Songarm. Deposited a large pile of dyed cloth into Sabrina's basket. As Sabrina thanked her and turned to leave, Mrs. Songarm caught her elbow. "One moment, Sabrina. Don't use that old soap. You will spoil the colors. Here." She held out a bar of alchemical soap, indigo, indigo colored and dotted with glittery green and black specks. "Thank you," gasped Sabrina, as Mrs. Songarm flung the soap on the top of the laundry. Sabrina couldn't stop staring. It looked more like a precious stone than something you use to wash clothes. I have never...
Okay, so let's have a look. So she's given her the basket of laundry to do and some new cloth to wash before it's made into clothes. So she's telling her, by the way, don't use that old soap that you use.
The alchemical.
That's right. Indigo colored, so deep, bright blue. So if something is indigo colored, it's like a purpley blue. You know that? Yeah. So it's indigo colored and it's dotted with glittering green and black specks. So you know some stones are like that. Yeah? Okay.
Looks so.
So I've never used
alchemical soap before. I can't wait to try it. And if your pa ever needs anything, said strong arm waving Sabrina goodbye. As Sabrina set off down towards the river with the strong arms washing, she passed villagers climbing the hill with baskets of water. There were no wells in the village, so they depended on the river for every drop of water used of drinking, cooking, or cleaning. The village sat at the bottom of the valley, with the river running around it upstream. Mountains rose from the mountain mist. Downstream, the strong arms farm occupied the undulating sloughs beyond the village.
So what do you think they mean by undulating?
Undulating?
something is undulating.
The unbelievable?
Now, in this case, Jumana, it means going up and down, up and down. So their farm got, is situated slope going up, going down, going back up, going down, going back up, going down. This is undulating.
Yeah,
Yeah? All okay?
yeah.
So it's
What?
the landscape that the farm is on.
Landscape.
It's going up, going down, going up, going down, going up. So we're assuming in this land and in this time frame, it rains like it does for us. So the water is running down. So I would imagine the strong arms always have a good collection of water. So if it rains, it goes on the top part, then runs down and collects in the bottom before it goes back up again. So the water is probably always down here. Yes?
Yeah.
So they probably got a very good store of water. Okay.
When she reached the meandering river, Sabrina saw that what the farm workers had said was true. The water was lower than she would ever seen it. She had to climb right down the slippery bank, and the river bed was covered by only a few inches of water, weeds exposed and drying in the spring sunshine. Sabrina loved to watch the birds and creatures that lived on the river, but today there was no sign of any. Perhaps the river was too low. Sheep,
Yeah.
sheep, 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 sheep. Sabrina jumped. Upstream, a little beakling was trapped in the weeds. Clung in the low water, beakling were colorfully feathered creature with webbed flippers. This one was so young, it didn't even have its iridescent head plumes yet. From further downstream came the soft honking sounds of the adult beakling looking for their chick. Sabrina kicked off.
So what's
Yeah,
happening here? She's obviously found some
an animal creature.
yes, extraordinary creature. So telling us we're not in our own land now. It didn't even have iridescent head plumes. So this is feathers on the head. Iridescent means sparkling with color. So something is iridescent. It catches the light and all of the colors appear to be sparkling in the light. Yes?
Yeah,
Yep, this is iridescence.
and her mom or her parents are looking for the creature.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like
So
yeah.
beaklings and talking about feathered creatures, it gives you an idea of it being a bird. But then webbed flippers?
No, it's not a
No.
bird. It hasn't
Um,
like it's dropped in the sea. It's
uh,
in the river.
so now
Very
I'm getting some kind of feathered
strange.
platypus coming to mind. Yeah, something completely strange, something new for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Sabrina kicked off her sandals and plunged into the ankle-deep river. The cool water swirled gently around her feet and splashed against her shins as she waded across. "Don't worry, little one," she said. She untangled the panicking chick from the weeds, clutching its downy body between her palms. "Here," she said, as an adult raced upstream towards her. The beakling leapt from Sabrina's hand and dropped into the water. Moments later, the two beakling paddled away, tail plumes wiggling happily.
Mm.
Sabrina laid out her washboard and barrow now beside the river and dipped a golden gown into the water. As she scrubbed, purple and green bubbles grew as big as her head. Her new alchemical soap was much better than the lye soap that she normally used. Stains disappeared almost instantly, and the
Yes.
colors came out brighter than they went in. She bet the gown against her board, then pinned it down the river bed with heavy stones.
Yeah.
Sabrina watched as multicolored soap bubbles drifted gently away on the trickling water. She trained her ears for the splashes of the fish in the river and the chirrups of birds, but if there were any to be heard, they were drowned out by the calls of the laborers in the fields. As she gazed at the cloudless sky, the spring buds in the trees, and the blue mountains in the distance, her thoughts began to drift. I still I can't understand what happened.
Okay. So what has happened here is, um, so Sabrina has picked up this chick, this
Yeah,
baby strange creature, and she's untangled it from the weeds in the river, and she's
yeah,
hiding it. Here, she said, as an adult raced upstream towards her. So one of the adult creatures, the mother or
like
the
her mom.
father,
Yeah,
yeah, has raced upstream towards her. So the baby has leapt from Sabrina's hand and dropped into the water. So moments later, the two beaklings, the adult and the baby, paddled away in the water with their plumes, their tail feathers wiggling happily. So the creature is back with its, we're assuming,
yeah,
mother.
yeah,
Yeah.
parents.
So then Sabrina has got to work, with the laundry that she has to
Yeah,
do. She dips a golden gown into the water, and she's scrubbing it with the soap that she's been given by Mrs.
yeah,
Strongarm.
by Mr. Strongarm.
That's right. Purple and green bubbles grew as big as her own head. So she's never seen this kind of soap before. So her new alchemical soap was much better than the usual lye soap. An ingredient that's still in our soaps today. This is why your hands often feel so dry after using, say, hand soap. It's because of the lye in it. That she
Yeah,
normally used. Stains disappeared almost instantly, and
like
colours.
the
So it,
unclean.
that's right. So
Now
anything,
clean.
that's right. So any stains that were on the material came out
Yeah,
straight away.
yeah, yeah,
And colours came out brighter than they went in. So the colours were better coming out of the water
yeah,
than when they
yeah.
went in. But remembering that there was no wells in this village.
Uh, what's
So
well?
wells are the holes in the ground
Yeah,
lined
yeah,
with
yeah.
bricks with a bucket where you can take water out from the ground.
Yeah, yeah, I know it.
But there aren't any. So these people are completely dependent on the river for their drinking water, yet you've got people washing clothes in there
Yeah,
now with chemical soaps. Mm. Doesn't sound good, right? To be
yeah.
drinking water that's got chemical in it.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, Yeah. She beat the gown against her board, then pinned it down on the riverbed with heavy stones. So she's taking the soap out by putting stones on the gown and leaving it under the water. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, all okay now?
Yeah, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Her mind wandered up the mountain, where the river spilled from a spring at its source and began its journey. She knew that she must keep climbing higher. It was important. Loose stones slid beneath her. Sandals and clouds swirled around the back.
Around the peak.
Near the path trickled the clear stream.
Yeah.
Soon she reached a jagged crack in the side of the mountain. Peak, yeah, peak. Soon she reached a jagged crack in the side of the mountain. Less than a hand was walking right towards Sabrina. Her skin was blue and her hair bubbled like river rapids. Her eyes glimmered like wet stones and her gown was tipped silver and gray, the colors of mackerel scales. She was beautiful, but Sabrina could tell by the limp way in which she held herself and by the thinness of thinness of her cheeks that something was wrong. "I'm Dia," said the figure, the rival spirit. She was much more imposing in real life than the little chipped figure that stood in the family shrine. Sabrina dropped to her knees and bowed her head. "I didn't ask you here to bow to me," snapped the spirit. "I need your help. I'm being poisoned." Even as she said it, Dia seemed to grow paler and more flimsy. "The humans who live along the river bank are growing too many and are taking too much. They fill me with vile alchemicals."
Mm.
Sabrina looked guilty at the green and purple soap bubbles still clinging to her fingers. "My fish are dwindling," Dia continued. "My birds are seeking new rivers. My waters have grown too sluggish. I can hardly make it to the sea." Sabrina found her voice. "But how can I help?"
So,
That
what do you
means
think's happening? What do you think is happening
that
now, Jemana?
that her status had become like a real spirit figures.
Yes. So
Yeah,
she's
and Perla and Sana.
yes.
Yeah,
What is happening is she is now meeting the real spirit,
the real spirits and
spirit
figures.
of the
Yeah,
river. Yes, of the water. And
yeah.
so, what's happening to her? What's happening
Uh,
to this spirit?
yeah, she's harmed from the chemical soap,
Yep.
purple and green.
Yes,
Yeah.
but not
Her,
only the chemicals. What else?
no, yeah, yeah. 1 minute.
Okay, don't worry. Take your time, sweetie.
Yeah, she's harmed that her fish are dwindling and my birds are seeking new rivers. They are like looking for
Yes,
new rivers
your
because of the
seeking is
chemicals.
looking.
Yeah,
That's right. So
and
dwindling.
dwindling, like they are dying or
Yeah,
aren't or
smaller amount.
oh yeah, yeah. They are not like healthy or
Yeah,
yeah,
but also not as many. So the number
many.
is
Yeah,
dwindling.
yeah, yeah,
Not as
yeah. They
many
are
of them.
dying.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah. They are dying because of the
that's right.
and and her water have grown so sluggish.
Yes, slow. Sluggish is very slow.
Yeah,
Yeah? She's saying, I can hardly make it to the sea. we're moving so slowly now.
Yeah.
So she's actually saying her and the water are one. She's
Yeah.
the spirit of the water.
Yes.
Yeah?
Sabrina, yeah. I need a messenger, said Dia. You must travel the length of the river and tell them this, that they are making it sick and that they must stop, or else their river will be nothing more than a stinking trail of sludge. That if they continue to treat the river this way, I will be very, very angry, and they will be very, very sorry.
Oh dear.
Oh,
This
she's
is a
warning.
threat. Yeah, this is a
Yeah,
threat, isn't it?
warning her.
Yeah,
Hmm.
very much so. So she's
Oh,
saying, I will be very, very angry, and they.
and will be very, very sorry
Yes.
for what will happen.
Wow.
They were, they were like
Well, she's saying the river could dry up.
apologized for her for
Yeah.
what they did.
Yes,
They will be
sure.
very, very sorry. Yeah.
Yes. But what she's saying
Sabrina?
is they will be
Yeah.
sorry because
Yeah.
everything has a consequence. And the
Yeah.
consequence of this is the river could dry up and they are
Yeah.
dependent on the river.
I can't hear you. The sound is very bad.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But please repeat from what did you say?
No problem.
Yeah.
So she is actually saying, they will be sorry because
Yeah.
the river
Yeah.
could dry up, and they are
Yeah.
these people are completely dependent on the river. It's their only source of water
Yes.
for
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
And she's a spirit. She can do whatever she wants.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what she's actually saying is, you are killing the spirit of the river.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
yeah.
Go on.
They will be killing, yes, the spirit, Dia.
That's right. Yes.
Sabrina tried to imagine life without the river. There would be no water to drink or to wash clothes. The crop would fail and the village would surely starve. Why me? So many people come to the river, but you are different. You care for the river creatures, and you don't fill my water with poisons. Sabrina furtively whipped her soapy hands on her apron. You're devoted to your family, though you long for adventures, dear continued. You choose to do the right thing, even when it's hard. You alone heard my call. Please, She begged. You're my only hope. Sabrina nodded, and as she did so, the mountain top lurched away, and she found herself walking on the grass beside the river bank. The sun was low in the sky already. She rescued the goats from the river and wrung them dry, all the while thinking about what she had seen. Had her vision been real? Suddenly, a silver fish jumped from the river and said, "Hurry!" Sabrina blinked where the fish had splashed back into the water. A glinting shape danced beneath the water she waded in, reached down and pulled out a handful of silver coins. It was more money than her family had ever possessed at once.
Possessed.
Her possessed,
Yeah.
possessed. Heart-pounding, Sabrina fetched a little salt from her pocket and threw it over her shoulder for luck.
Yes, a habit we
She
still do today.
really?
If it comes from even my grandmother's time. My grandmother, if she
Yeah.
ever spilt salt, she always threw a pinch of that salt over her shoulder for luck.
Oh, not
Um,
sugar?
no, only salt. I have to say, I do it myself.
Yeah.
It comes from our Celtic background. It's a very Celtic thing to do.
Yeah. But
Mm.
I saw this in TV, but they were joking, like they were
Ye-
just like
Yes,
throwing, but not on themselves. They are throwing on people. They are they are not good. Maybe they will.
No, we actually throw it over the left shoulder, just a tiny pinch like this that you can put into your fingers. This,
Yeah.
and it's for luck. So I actually recognise what she's doing.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah.
Yes, this is Mrs. Strongarm.
Yeah. Son. Yeah.
So we have Sabrina.
Yeah.
Yes, this is her father.
Yes.
You know, 'cause he's got the stick because of his back.
Yeah.
And the children playing. Worm. Okay.
Sabrina delivered the strong arms watching and hurried home. Her head spinning, Pa was beside himself when she told him. The spirits, they heard my plea. They have blessed this house and my marvelous daughter. Sabrina tried to calm him, but he kept hooting with delight. He hooted as he served dinner, and he hooted as he thanked the gods, and he hooted as the family climbed into their beds in the cottage loft. In the morning, Pa hobbled to Mrs. Strongarm's home and asked her towards the little ones. "We have got a long journey ahead of us. See," he said. "We're traveling down the river, and wherever we see people holding hands, Sabrina's going to tell them to stop." That was the first Sabrina heard that her frail old Pa, with his crooked back, was planning to accompany her. "Sabrina, tell Mrs. Strongarm what Dia told you."
So
"Oh,
this
Sabrina."
word here, Jemana, is crooked. Crooked.
Crooked.
Yeah.
Crooked.
This crooked
Like
back.
with a crooked back. Straight.
So the opposite of straight.
Bend.
Bent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 minute, I will write.
No problem. Take your time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Sabrina found herself flushing. Only, only she said that the river is getting too polluted, you see, and that everyone should stop polluting it with alchemicals, or the plants will die and the animals will have to find somewhere else to live. So thank you for the alchemical soap, but I will be using it. She handed the sparkling bar back. Also, Mrs. Strongarm ought to stop putting that fertilizer in his fields. It turns through the soil into the river, you know. "Nonsense! He couldn't do that, dear," said Mrs. Strongarm. "This means that Dia is a boy, not a girl."
No.
Or
She said.
why he, and because they are saying he.
Where?
He couldn't do that, dear.
Yeah. So what
Dia.
she's saying is she's actually speaking. If you notice, there's direct speech marks here. So Sabrina has said also Mr. Strongarm ought to stop putting that fertilizer in his fields.
Yeah, I thought Mrs.
No.
Thought, yeah.
So
Okay.
nonsense. He couldn't do that, dear.
Yeah.
Said Mrs. Strongarm.
That means that you do not know anything, or she's lying.
I would say she just doesn't understand what she's doing. She thinks the answer to everything
that this is safe
chemicals.
and
Yes. I mean, for many years, you wouldn't believe, Joanna, for many years, even doctors actually said smoking was good for you.
Oh, it's not.
It's really not.
Yeah.
But for many years, even doctors said it was good for you.
No.
Now we know it is dreadful for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Even they're putting the 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 picture of the what harm
That's right.
it will cause. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
But for many years, it was considered a
That it's
social
good,
thing to
safe,
do, and
healthy.
it was actually good for your lungs.
Yeah.
Well, we know
No. No.
now it's a dreadful thing for
Yeah.
your lungs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not good. The
So
crops.
I don't
Yeah.
think she realizes what she's doing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. The crops wouldn't grow half so well. They will look after the littlies, if that's what you're after, she said, flapping the children from the doorstep. The door shut before Sabrina had time to point out that the farm had always thrived before they started using our chemicals. At
Th-
home, packing
this word, Joanna, is thrived.
thrived. Yeah, they,
It had always been good.
yeah,
So the crops grew even before chemicals.
yeah, I can see.
Okay, so the
Grew up.
word thrived,
It's good.
me, yeah, it had always, the crops had always grown, the fruit had always grown, the plants had grown even before the chemicals,
Yeah,
but now with using them, there's just more.
yeah,
So before Sabrina had a chance to tell her, hey, look, the crops had already grown,
yes,
she'd closed the door.
yes. Sabrina tried to persuade her father not to come. Of course I'm coming, said Pa, digging out two old traveling cloaks. You're only young. I will be your guide and your guard. You, my daughter, are the voices of spirits. Now, will these do you think? Sabrina inspected the clocks. They were musty and ragged, but warm enough. She gave the better one to try, and they set off the very day. As they left the village, Sabrina stopped to speak with each person they passed. She told the blacksmith and the dyers, the merchants and their daughters, all about the river. The blacksmith smiled as his iron turned to gold. The dyers nodded and dipped their gowns into their dye vats. The merchants' daughters giggled at their fathers, hurried them away. It was an it was an unpromising start. Sabrina and Pa
And nobody's
following the road.
listening, right?
Yeah, yeah, they are just like, okay, whatever.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
exactly that.
Sabrina and Pa followed the road beside the meandering river to the next village. The river was so low that it was bordered on either side by sloping beaches of red clay, dotted with grey pebbles, which had been carried by the river down from mountains. Sabrina tucked one into her pocket as a talisman.
It's a talisman for luck.
Talisman for luck.
Yes.
Talisman is for luck.
Yes, it's something that you carry with you to give you good luck, good fortune. So there is a lot of superstition in here. Yes?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by superstition?
No.
No? Superstition is a belief in something giving you good luck or bad luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
It very much comes from our Celtic past. For some reason, and I don't actually know
Yeah.
what the reasons for these are, um, you don't walk under a ladder.
Leather?
Yeah. If somebody is doing work,
Yeah.
building work, and there is a ladder, you never walk under a ladder.
Yeah. Wow.
Why? I don't know.
Ladder, stairs.
Yes,
Yeah, why?
but it's superstition
Like,
not
but
to walk under it.
how to walk under? How?
Yeah, you
Like,
just don't do. So you know when it's open like this, the
yeah,
ladder goes
yeah.
up like this. Never walk under it.
Oh,
It's supposed to be terribly bad luck.
maybe because it may close suddenly, and
Well,
maybe,
possibly, maybe it's something to do with something might drop on you. Possibly.
yeah, maybe.
Um, things like a black cat crossing in front of you is supposed to be
Yeah,
very lucky.
I don't know. I
Why?
didn't hear it before.
Mm, these are called superstitions. So something that is
Yeah,
handed orally, word of mouth, from one generation to another.
yeah,
It's like the salt over your shoulder. Nobody knows quite why we do it, but we
yeah.
do.
But we do
Um,
not do it here. I think here in
no,
Egypt.
you don't. You don't. As
Yeah,
I say, it's remnants of our Celtic past.
yeah.
Um,
Like
Celts,
just in, like in,
yes, it's all to do with ancient gods.
yeah,
Um, things like, well, this one I do know the reason for. Friday the 13th is supposed to be very, very unlucky. Some people take this so seriously they won't go outside of their
13?
house. 13, the
13?
number is
Yeah,
unlucky, but
yeah,
Friday the
yeah,
13th is terribly unlucky. But I do know the
yeah,
reason for
yeah.
that.
At school, they say that to my friends. I don't know why.
Okay,
I don't know why.
well, I do. This all comes from the Temple Knights,
Yeah,
um, a group of warrior monks, warrior holy men that were soldiers, and they grew so powerful. They had
yeah,
their own headquarters at Templestone in the south of England. Um, they invented the first bank.
yeah,
Anybody could send money to the Temple Knights, and if somebody else wanted to go and collect it from the Temple
yeah.
Knights, they could.
Wow.
So it was in fact the first bank, and they grew very, very, very powerful. But they grew too powerful. And the Pope in Rome said you had to stop the Temple Knights. So one day in October, the
Yeah,
13th of October, a
yeah,
Friday, the leader of the Temple Knights was arrested, and terrible things happened to the Temple Knights, and they were
mm,
disbanded. Um,
yeah,
but it comes from there. You know,
yeah,
on
yeah,
the 13th of October,
yeah,
at 1 o'clock, 1300 hours in the afternoon on a Friday, 1313, the year was
mm,
1313,
yeah.
all of this happened to the Temple Knights. But
Oh,
so that's where it comes from, being very, very unlucky. So with Sabrina, she is
I'll tell you.
looking back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. This is a very, very superstitious community. They're
yeah,
carrying talismans. They're throwing the salt over the shoulder.
yeah.
They are believing in their
On 13,
gods. That's right.
on
Yes,
13 Friday.
that's right.
Yeah,
So that's where the number 13, and especially Friday the 13th,
yeah,
comes from.
yeah,
You can tell your friends now it comes from the Temple Knights.
yeah.
The fate of the Temple Knights in France. So Sabrina. Let's see what
Sabrina,
happened with her.
yeah, Sabrina had visited the next village before on market days, but there was no market today. By the river bank sat three water mills. Usually the wooden wheels of the mills creaked in circles as the river raced past, turning the millstones inside, but not any more. The river was too low, and the mills stood still and silent.
So here's the mill. Here is the water
Yeah,
wheel.
yeah.
Okay.
Pa and Sabrina found the millers on the common, along with some grand-looking people in richly colored cloths. They were surrounded by logs and bricks and strange shining contraptions. There were lots of activity, sewing and mixing, pitting.
So here we are. So shining contraptions.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
a lot of shine coming off these machineries. There was lots of activity, sawing and mixing and piling.
yeah,
Mm. You're here. Can you hear me, Joanna?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I can hear you.
Oh, good. So you're here.
What are you doing? Sabrina asked. Building factories, the millers replied. Factories? But what about your mills? The river is too low. The mill wheels aren't turning. That's just why we are here, said Pa. Tell them, Sabrina. Sabrina took a deep breath and began. She told the millers all about Dia's warning and the sickness of the river. As she spoke, the millers put down their tools and other villagers gathered to listen. "Well, that's all right," said one of the millers. When she had finished, "we won't be bothering about the river any more. These alchemists have devised a new way to generate power with their new-fangled machinery. Uses all chemicals.
Mm.
Where, where will the alchemicals go once you're finished with them?" The miller frowned. "Into the river, I suppose." "Please, please don't," begged Sabrina. "Please don't make it worse. If you help the river thrive, it will rise and and your mills will start turning again. But if you build these factories, the river might be harmed beyond repair. Then how you expect us to survive?" asked the miller. "We have to keep working, or we won't have the means to live.
To
If the
live.
river live,
Mm.
yeah, means to live.
Mm.
If the river dries up, no one will have the means to live," Sabrina insisted. But it didn't matter. They wouldn't change their minds. Now there will be a trouble thing will happen to them.
Yes. Yeah,
Yep,
sure.
to
Mm.
war. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That that night at their inn, Pa said, "Don't fret, Sabrina. The towns and the cities down the river are full of wiser people than these. They will hear reason." But when they set off at dawn, Sabrina couldn't hide her worry. Pa did his best to raise her spirits. "The next town sits on a lake famed for its wildlife. I went there once a young man. I saw scarlet eagles wheeling overhead and peaklings battling in the shallows. Banks teemed with white furs and green lace, bees and butterflies. The lake was full of fish that sparkled, and one moonlight night I thought I caught a glimpse of Dia's legendary serpent.
So I'm going to stop you there, Joanna. Okay, what I would like you to do for some
Yeah,
homework, please, if you don't mind,
yeah,
I'm going to ask you, this is sending you, should be sending you a message. What are
yeah,
you getting from it? What's the message? I need to find out what page we're on, 12. What's the message? I'm going to have a read, please, to, where's the chapter? Long chapters, okay. Wow. So we're on 12. There we go. So 19.
yeah,
Can you please read and see if you are getting a message yet?
yeah, yeah.
This is
From 12 till 19?
12 to 19 and see what the message is. The story is telling you something.
Yeah.
Are you hearing the message? Or not yet? And if it's not yet, it doesn't matter.
Like, I can't, I can't hear it. Like, what is the message?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
what do you mean by message?
It's trying to give you almost a moral.
Oh, yeah, a lesson. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
It's trying to teach you something. Yes, okay, lesson.
Yeah. Like, I know it. Like, do not waste the river for chemicals and.
So this is what?
A moral.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what's the word to cover all of this? It's a what message?
Oh, it's a important message.
It's certainly important. It's certainly
Looking for the
important.
river and not to waste it on chemicals and.
You are you're around it. You're right around it.
Oh,
It's an
okay, yeah.
environmental message.
What does it mean?
Environmental. Take care of your environment.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's environmental.
Environmental. Yeah.
Yeah? So
Yeah.
it's sending you that direct message.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you read for me to 19?
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to do the same thing. She's a fascinating character, isn't she, Sabrina?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her. Do you?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I like Sabrina a lot. Okay, Jemana, I'm going to see you next time. I'm going to get some dinner, I think. So take it easy, have a rest. I'm going to stop that chair. I'm going to say to you, I will see you next time. And see what you make of Sabrina.
Okay.
Quite like a par as well.
Yeah.
And let's think of whether she's actually going to convince everybody of her environmental message. Good job, and I will see you next time. Well done.
Bye.
Great job.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.